Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 264 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
And I am Weston Pugh. Today, we're going to take a look at a little neighborhood, and this house is located at 3713 Dorothy Avenue. This is a great area that has really had a huge amount of change, probably in the last 5 years. We thought it'd be interesting for you to take a look at it because we're familiar, and we want you to be familiar with it now.
And in our second segment today, we're going to talk about, is your home ready for the spring storms?
They are here.
They are here.
We should start thinking about that.
We just had a big set of them. In the last 2 weeks, we've had 3 really big rainstorms already.
Had a lot. There's actually been some daytime thunder, and then someone the other day took and said that there was like rotation around downtown as they were coming back south on 75, but I didn't see that get picked up by the news. So interesting.
Adrian and I drove to Burleson on Saturday, and we left here about 11 o'clock, and it was pouring rain when we drove all the way over there. And I think we were driving against the storm, but we were in the storm. It was that big a storm. And when we got to Burleson and got out, it had stopped raining. And then when we got ready to leave, it started raining, and we drove in a storm all the way back across the city. And yeah, it was white knuckle 45 mile an hour on the highway.
It's been havoc on my pickleball game. All righty. Let's take a look at some of the things we like to talk about, products and trends that are actually good for you as a homeowner. And the first one that we're going to talk about is closet organization. This is a really interesting workaround. My producer, Zach, found this. And this is really interesting because these are taking everyday shelving materials and turning them into a custom cabinet. He said that this is one that is actually a little more basic, but the video is really great. We like that. And it gives you a good idea of what you could do and dress it up and take it a little further if you'd like to.
So Zach said you could buy these at Target for about $25 a piece, and you get the very basic cabinet there. So you're going to spend a little bit of extra money on the rods and anything fancier that you do. But I think this one has really done a great job in creating additional storage that she probably doesn't have in her closet.
No, it's easy, almost like a weekend project, and it looks a ton easier than some of those other combination
put together things. Yeah. So the next thing we're going to talk about is something that I was just asking about this the other day, and these are non-wired sconces that go in the wall. And then you've got a remote control to be able to turn them off. Some of them you can change colors with them. I was wanting some of these for my bed. I just texted you the other day, and I was like, hey, what kind of sconces could I get for my bedroom to replace my lamps?
For a split second, I thought you included Zach on that text too. That's why you pulled these out. So these are a really great idea. I think I like the ability to actually change the colors. The remote control is an interesting thing, so you don't have to ding it and shift it because I always want it to be perfectly straight up and down. The other thing too is it involves no electrician. If you decide that it is something that you like and you want to make it more permanent, easy way to adjust that as well. But I think it's a really good starting point. The last thing we're going to take a look at, smart plastic hooks. And it's so funny because I was like, plastic hooks? But I love this idea because of the way that it sleeves in. It seems a lot more sturdy. Plus, for me, I think this would be an easy way to customize your shower and get everything up and keep it super clean. So for me, this is where I put my razor, the mirror, try to attach the loofah and what else.
That's great. I think they're great because they're kind of like the command strips, but they're better. Because they've got the fit together piece as opposed to just being stuck to the wall.
It does. So anyway, great ideas. Let us know what you have that you think we should talk about. We'd love to hear from you. What we're going to do now is shift gears. Let's talk about Market Watch. This is when we look at what is going on in Dallas County over the last 7 days so we can strip away all the national hype, get down to actually real estate.
So the first thing we talk about is coming soon. Coming soon is a status in the MLS that if you do any kind of marketing or a sign in the yard or anything, you have to put it into MLS within a day. Let's say it's not ready to show. And so that's the reason it goes into coming soons. Coming soon last week were neutral week over week. There were still 81, but the 0% is just indicating no change. New active listings were down about 21%. There were still 498 new active listings in Dallas County, which is really, I can see our inventory growing. There are the option period which is the first status of the contract when something goes under contract, is down 8% to 346 option period contracts last week.
So now when both sides, buyer and seller, have agreed upon all of the terms in the option period, we move into the next status, and that's pending. And that's down 25%. That is 44 units versus to 271. And then also sold is also off. That's down 5, 271, which is down 15. Take in consideration that last week was also spring break, which is a huge impact on the market here. I feel like anytime there's a 4-day weekend or greater, Dallas evacuates, and hence everyone left town. Mortgage rates crept back up. They just keep ping-ponging back and forth. Last week they were at 6.7. This week they're at 6.9, which is up 0.2%. That is with a conforming loan. If you would like more information on mortgage rates, you can go to Jeremy Radcliffe, or you can also go to Optimal Blue. That's where we get this information. Optimal Blue helps you out, lets you look at FHA, jumbo, 15 years, and it actually also takes and gives you a graph, so you can see historical data about these. We're not supplemented by Optimal Blue. Jeff keeps wanting me to point that out because I talk like
it's a commercial. So call Optimal Blue today.
Call Optimal Blue today.
Better yet, go to optimalblue.com/Updike Pugh for your 5-day.
Oh, that would be really cool.
It's just a data. It's just a data. No, it's a data service. There's nothing to sell there.
Love that. All right. So let's talk about this house. 3713 Dorothy Avenue. It's a 3-bedroom, 2 full, 1 half, 2-car garage, just over 2,200 square feet. Price is $724,900.
And this is in such a great location. Not only would you be one of my within a quarter-mile neighbors, but it's just a great area of town. We talked about this last week when we talked about the house on Kenwell.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Kelton, not Kenwell, Kelton. And I just love the convenience that you get because within 5 minutes I'm on the tollway. If I'm flying out of Love Field, within 5 minutes I'm there. It's so convenient.
You also have Inwood, which is really great if you need Inwood. And we'll talk a little bit just a little bit about why Inwood is so important. But also you've got Lemon, and you also got Cedar Springs that can take you north and take you south. This gets you into downtown, the Arts District. Again, like you said, you've got great access to the toll road and 35. So heading north and south is also quite simple. The good thing also, if you look at it from a greater standpoint, of being in the Metroplex, being here on this location, also gives you really great access to Las Colinas, Irving, also into Arlington. Commuting is quite simple. The express lanes now that connect Fort Worth and Dallas, this is also really close to those and allow you to get in and out. I was just on one last night. So overall, this is, again, as Jeff said, a really great area of town to live in.
And there's a lot of cool stuff around here. One of the great things about living in this part of town is we have access to so many grocery stores. So many. We have a Tom Thumb that's not very far away. We have the Whole Foods that's on Lomo Alto in Highland Park. And I can name 5 other grocery stores that I can be at within 10 minutes.
Including Trader Joe's is one of them.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
The best thing about, not the best thing, but I love Whole Foods from this standpoint. Their takeaway food is really great. They do lots of exchanges. So if you have to return Amazon, this is the go-to for this area. But at the counter where they sell the fish, they will also cook it for you. And I don't think everybody knows that, so great idea for that. One of the other things that everyone likes in this area, and this one is really getting super niche, this is the dog park. This is called Central Common Communities Dog Park. This is actually at the end of the cul-de-sac on this street. And when we tell you this is local only, this is the definition of local only. It's only like probably a couple streets, and those at the church that know about this.
Yes, this is a park that is next door to Central Christian Church, which was the church that Abby Halliday in her day did a lot of work with and had a lot of philanthropy with. This was one of the things that they put in because the church put in because they really wanted to provide a space of community. There's a coffee bar right next door to it that's also part of the church grounds. And it's, like you said, you walk right down Dorothy Avenue to the end of Dorothy, and you'll see that it's blocked off from going in. But when you step over that, you're in the dog park.
Yeah. It's a great value add. And the reason I think that you see these large apartments come in, there's a couple of them down at the end of the street. They have also done research, and they have a enormous dog park on their grounds as well. And I thought they kind of probably picked up that so many people in this area have a four-legged friend. Such a great way to meet your neighbors as well. As we talked about earlier, one of the other things is Inwood, and the reason why Inwood is so important is because Inwood will get you down to the medical district. So whether it's UT Southwestern, Parkland, or Children's, these are all really accessible to this. One of the important things when you and I had Parkside and Piazza listed is that we realized that in March, a lot of the students get their fellowship and they also get accepted med schools. Hence, they come into this area looking to buy for the simple fact that they're 5 minutes from the schools.
And this is world-class medicine there. So you are there is, I think back 15 years ago, 20 years ago, where if you had a bout with cancer, you headed to Houston to go to MD Anderson.
Right.
If you had da-da-da-da-da, you headed to da-da-da-da-da. You don't have to do that any longer because we have created such a world-class medical network, and not just in these hospitals, but with our medical city, with Baylor. I mean, Presby. It's a great place to live because of the medical background that you get.
That is absolutely true. So let's go ahead and take you through this house. This is 3713 Dorothy Avenue. Again, it's 3-bedroom to full 1/2 2-car garage. And as you can see, this is a single family attached. It is really interesting because rather than be bricks or like a lot of siding and stucco, these are large cinder blocks with texture on the outside. There's another community that has these over in Oak Cliff. I really like the house. We sold something similar. It just has that substantial feeling like it's going to be there for a while.
It does. And this home has been updated very nicely. I think Josh told us these people bought it from him about 10 years ago. And you can see the light colored flooring that goes through that downstairs. Going up the stairs, as you'll see in a minute, there's a continuation of the light flooring, but really big, oversized living room, gas fireplace, looks out on a really great backyard.
I like the fact that the walls the windows are almost floor to ceiling, which is a nice element to allow natural light. As we'll see later, you still have the privacy, which is so important when you're living in an urban environment. The downstairs floor plan also has interesting split levels, and it is a really great combination of both the living room, the dining room, and the kitchen. They're not so big that they become vacuous and you just kind of feel like it's a waste of space, but it all has intentional layout, and it's all quite usable. Whether you're entertaining and dining or whether you're entertaining and playing cards and games, this all works out. I also like the fact that they have an eat-in island as well, which makes a lot more sense, even for just setting up a simple buffet like on a Sunday brunch.
Yeah, and I love these shaker-style cabinetry that they've used. These actually are, I think, the same cabinets I have in my kitchen.
How interesting.
Yeah, I've loved them.
They've got really high-end appliances as well. Really great cooktop right there, as you can tell. Glass blocks there provide light, but again, give you the privacy that you're looking for. Island has the kitchen sink as well. Again, everything is in its space. I did like this. This is the powder bath, and I typically get really picky about where a powder bath can be located. If it's too close to the living area downstairs, I'm not a fan. This is in the right spot down the hall by the garage. So perfect location. As we go upstairs, you're going to see that there are really bright colored art niches all the way up. These are really excellent. I like the fact that it doesn't have the swirl on the balustrades. There's no bird nest in them either. They're just clean, simple lines. Lots of attention was paid to the tray ceilings that are throughout the bedrooms.
It was such a great job, because if these had been just flat, this room would, I don't feel as big as it does. You have these really great windows that look out over the back, a small Juliet balcony there. So you still get a lot of really great natural light. This is one of those homes that has the two-sided fireplace from the master bedroom into the master bath. So if you're one of those people that wants to lay in a bathtub with a fireplace and a glass of wine, oh my gosh, come on down. This is it.
This is for you. Double vanity sinks, as you can see, lots and lots of mirror space. Sconces also attached to the mirrors. I do like the fact that they've upgraded and put can lights as well. This is a really good combination of both tub and shower, both large and oversized jacuzzi as well as the tub. Unfortunately, we do not have the other picture of the closet, but it is very large, very organized. You'll have to go to the link and check out those. As I mentioned earlier, they have great trays in the bedrooms, but they also have them in this little open area on the second floor.
And this is where you step into one of the other bedrooms. This is the middle room. and you currently use it as an office. Still great light with lots of windows, lots of natural light. I think when we swing around here, tell them what that is.
I loved it. It's a coffee bar. It's got a wine fridge as well. It's a great in between. It is an exaggerated Jack and Jill bathroom because the bathroom is here on the right hand side of this picture, but it also has a sink. Smart addition to this house.
And I said middle room a while ago. That was not the middle room. This is the middle room, which is set up as the guest room. So you do have access into that coffee bar, that Jack and Jill bath area, with a pocket door there when you want privacy.
Downstairs.
Oh, it's so cool outside.
I like the fact that downstairs you've got these sliders that open up. You've got the flagstone pathway. The deck is e-pay as well. Nice seating area. All of the equipment for the HVAC is behind that. Board-on-board fence, well, also with the topper, looks extremely finished out, and a great space, as you can see here, for the hot tub.
Yeah, it is. It's a perfect outdoor space. So this is 3713 Dorothy Avenue. It's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2-car garage, built in 2002, a little over 2,250 square feet, and it's priced at $724,990, which brings it in about $322 a square foot.
Yep, this is a great house, and we're going to put the link to it in the actual comments. Click on that. There's other pictures that we didn't use. You can also zoom in and out on that map. Share it with your friends and family. If you'd like to take a look at it, let us know. We'd be happy to make that happen. And we'd also like to say thank you to Josh Vernon for allowing us to feature this amazing listing of his.
And with that, we'll be right back. Did you know there are a lot of ways you can keep up with us? For starters, every Wednesday at noon, we host Sold with Updike Pugh, live from our Facebook and YouTube channels. Our show is dedicated to featuring some of the best homes in the Dallas market and about sharing timely information about market trends. But don't worry if you missed the show, because you can always listen to them on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify.
Still want more? Follow us on Instagram, where you get a first-hand look at what it's like to be a realtor. And it's not always previewing homes for clients or getting them ready to go live in MLS. Lastly, visit our website and you'll be able to create a custom home search tailored specifically to your wants and needs that's timely and accurate. Whether it's square foot, location, or the neighborhood, we have you covered.
If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, we can help with that too. Just visit homeprice.fyi, enter a few pieces of information like your home address, and we'll email you a price. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second segment, episode 264 of Sold with Updike Pugh. I'm Jeff Updike.
And I'm Weston Pugh. And we thought today, given the way that the weather is beginning to change, that we would talk a little bit about, is your home ready for spring storms?
Man, we just got a bout of it. I mean, we've had 3 really significant rains in the last 2 weeks.
And it's interesting because this Monday in our office meeting, Tammy Farmer, who is within our insurance provider at Dave Perry Miller, came in and talked a little bit about this. And this is what triggered. I was like, this is something we really need to talk about, because when the storms are here, it's too late if you're not ready. So what we thought we'd do is break this into like pre-storm, post-storm, and then what to do. So start us off.
So the first thing you need to do is pull out the insurance policy. And I know that there are a lot of people that don't want to go through this, that just don't really, it's so boring. But let me tell you, it is important to know what your coverages are. The cost of, many times when you purchase a home, the insurance agent issues a policy for the amount you paid for the home. Mm-hmm. Well, over the years, that value of that home has gone up. Maybe you've made improvements to it. Maybe you've added on a little bit. And if you've never changed that insurance policy, you're still only covered to that exact amount.
That is correct.
And so it is time for you to review those numbers. If you need help, we're not insurance people at all. If you have questions, just general questions, please call us. We're happy to share our own experiences with you about it. I just went through going through all of our insurance and getting new policies issued. So I know what that's like.
The other thing too that is important to be aware of is what is wind and what is water damage and how that is actually broken out into your policy.
Mm-hmm.
That really needs to be explained by the carrier to let you know what is or isn't. Also ask the question is there anything that I need to add onto that? By simply asking, you're really giving them a chance to help upsell. You'll be surprised at what it doesn't cost really at the end per month. The other thing
I can give you a great example of that because when I was just going through it, the agent was telling me, or asking me, well, do you want a jewelry policy? And I'm like, we don't have any expensive jewelry. We've got, a couple of Apple watches and maybe, and that's about it really. And she was like, oh, okay. So we went on through. And then as we got toward the end with when we were working on the auto policies, she said, hey, I just found that if you add the jewelry policy on now, your premium at home actually goes down by more than the cost of that policy.
Yes.
Save me $100 a year by buying an additional policy.
They want that additional coverage. The other thing to understand is what your loss of use coverage looks like. Well, I was lucky enough that when I had the accident at my condo, that I had a large loss of use policy. So loss of use actually has limitations both on dollars and on time. Be aware of both of those. They're very critical. A total loss of a house can be a very long process. We just saw that when the supply chains were broken. If there's a short amount of time, this could be a problem for you if it's a substantial loss.
And document. One of the great things that you can do is just walk around your house taking pictures of what you own. And that is proof that you owned it because, you may have receipts for all of that may have gone up in that fire as well. But by documenting that and having pictures of it or video of it as you walk through your closet and you open up and hold up each piece of jewelry that you have, it is that important.
Here's an interesting thing too, because documenting is key and it is one of the biggest points of evidence, but it's also important to ask them if you can have access to what it looks like when you have to make a claim. Because when I made the claim, I had to actually fill out tons of information, date it was purchased, approximate valuation, name of the store that it came from. Having all that information up front would have been very interesting. It would have accelerated the process. So just a little tip.
So what to do after the storm?
Immediately after the storm. So one of the first things we're going to talk about is safety. And the biggest thing that I would say is turning off your utilities. So that's going to be get gas off first, electric off second, and water off third, because additional water damage caused by flooding within pipes is going to have a different impact on your insurance versus when the wind blows off and rain comes in. Two different things. You have to be very, very, very mindful of that.
Again, photography is your best friend because you want to photograph the damage that's occurred. You just want to have as much information and as much documentation as you can. When you call the insurance company, do that promptly. I would say certainly within 24 hours of a loss, of a known loss, call them and put them on notice that this has happened. A lot of times there are immediate things that an insurance agent is able to do. I know that many of the homeowners that went through the tornado that came through here, was it 2015 or so? Anyway, came through about 5 years ago. They some of those insurance carriers came out and just started writing checks to people, big checks, because they knew those people needed to move into another place. They needed to go buy extra clothing for work. That they needed food for a refrigerator. That notify them promptly as you can.
Absolutely. Now, so let's talk about what happens post-storm. So we're talking about looking at the repairs. So one of the things that is could be a huge lifesaver, especially if it's a large amount of damage, is if you hired a public adjuster. And a public adjuster gets paid at the back end once the claim has been settled. It's usually a percentage of what they're able to recoup. The interesting thing about a public adjuster is they typically come from the insurance carrier side and are extremely familiar with the policy and know exactly where the policy allows you to get more things covered, and they really take advantage of that so that you are not in a hindrance where maybe the gutters were damaged or that the fence was damaged or you have coverage for trees. These things are what they know that you and I don't typically know, and your insurance provider is not going to run out and tell you that, claim that too.
That's absolutely true. And they are licensed by the state, and they are the only license that is actually allowed to discuss your insurance claim with the insurance company.
The other thing to do is avoid the traveling roofers. We see
Mhm.
these all the time. They come through. They serve a purpose. They are there for a reason. But if you have the ability to pass on those, I would encourage you to pass on those.
So one of this is also from personal experience, or a friend of mine's personal experience that went through that tornado issue. Right after that tornado came through the neighborhood, there were immediately people driving up and down the streets in pickup trucks. Well, I mean, in whatever car, it didn't have to be a pickup truck, but they were there and
Canvassing the neighborhood.
they were canvassing the neighborhood, and they had a bunch of the blue tarps with them, and they would go up to a homeowner. They did this homeowner, and they said, "Hey, sign right here, and we'll take care of securing your roof right now." And he did that, and they did that, and then when time came to put a new roof on, they threatened to sue him because he had signed here that he was going to use them to put his roof on.
Yep. The other thing too is remember that you don't have to share your deductible with them. What you're looking for, and this is them, the roofer, what you're looking for is a bid.
Mhm.
This is also a really good filter. If they say that they need to know your deductible in order for them to create a bid, that's usually someone who's not on the up and up. Hold back that information. There's no reason for them to have this. Use this as a filter. Get the right person to done right.
And many times a roofer will say, "Well, I'll talk to your insurance. I can get this covered." Legally, they cannot talk to your insurance carrier about that roof. They can meet the adjuster out there and give their professional opinion of it, but they cannot negotiate with them. There's also legislation that passed about 3 or 4 years ago that you physically need to make that payment for your deductible to the roofer or the repair company. You need to have that documentation to show that you did that, because if you didn't pay that deductible, that is a crime.
That is correct. And it is tightened up. Last but not least,
Mhm.
and you're going to see this on your seller's disclosure if you ever sell your house, they'll be able to know if a roof was put on because you're going to say that, but then they're also going to go back and check with the city to find out if a permit was pulled for that. These are items that need to be done. They need to be pulled and they need to be closed. These are critical and can actually hurt the value of your home if not done properly.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we hope you have found that helpful. If there's any other questions you have, certainly reach out and let us know. If there are any other topics you'd like for us to discuss, just let us know that too.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.